knew WRPB and WRPB Studios, so you guys know me for so many years already. And every so often, I'll get somebody on the air that has a subject that's so, in my opinion, so niche, and probably took them a long time to learn it. But it's great when it comes down from family to family to family to family. With me is Mariano,
Yes, sir.
and you are the watch aficionado.
I am the watch aficionado.
So I would normally ask why you got into it, but it really is one generation before you, two generations.
I'm third generation.
Okay, so your grandfather
My
was in it.
grandfather was a jeweler. My father, who's still working as a watchmaker, and now me.
Okay, so is it something you wanted to do, or did you just like stuck hanging out with dad because you had to go there, and all of a sudden you picked up on it?
I started working with my father when I was 11. So this was a I want to go to work with him kind of thing, and that's where everything just snowballed into taking over the business.
Okay, so the business now is in St. Lucie West, right?
Correct.
How long has it been there?
10 years.
Okay, where'd your dad start or your grandfather start?
Well, we were born in Argentina, so everything started over there.
Okay.
Came here, went to New York, continued the business in New York, left New York, came here, and continued the business here.
Okay, so you're in this business that you've been doing since you're 11, so you know it backwards and forwards
It's been 40 years
for you.
for me.
Which,
I'm 51.
well, obviously, I can do math. Most time, if a woman's sitting across from
Yeah,
me, I never know that answer.
right.
But
That's why I'm giving it up. I'm giving it up.
that's okay. So you you open this place, and we were just talking about how times change, and
Yeah.
sometimes the old's got to go and the new's got to come in. So, what's the difference from the store now to prior to you doing this renovation?
Well, I wanted to elevate the experience. I didn't want the store to continue to be a repair shop. I wanted to elevate that experience. So you come in, I'm in the process of building a bar in the store.
Oh,
So I'm not done with that yet.
okay.
But I want you to be able to come in, talk about watches with me, have a drink. I have a humidor, so we have really good cigars. Obviously, can't smoke in the store, but
Good.
I'm giving them away to clients because I really do want to elevate that experience.
So, what's interesting is, and what I love about what you do is you're actually going backwards to go back to better times.
Yes.
Okay? The better times are if you wanted something, you went somewhere, you met face to face,
Hmm.
you it became you used the word experience,
Hmm.
but it became a face to face learning experience for someone who didn't know. Okay, and people took the time to show you. You didn't get on and go to Google or YouTube and learn it.
Correct.
Okay, now I can tell you now that I have an in on stuff that comes back from Amazon.
Hmm.
Okay, and if you're thinking you're getting top of the quality stuff, you're really not. Okay, um, some people ordered a pair of shoes, two separate sizes. Okay, one shoe, one size, one size. Okay, so you're getting a lot of resale stuff that you're not told, and a lot of not top quality stuff. And a lot of stuff comes from China now, of course. When it comes to watches, that season has changed and gone through many changes, I think. Did the fact that smartwatches came about affect your business, or did you just say, it's there, we'll deal with it, but people who are going to go out and get dressed up are going to wear a quality watch?
100%.
What's a quality watch?
Anything that's not digital. So you
Okay.
just mentioned smartwatches. When Apple came out with the watch, the industry kind of shook for 2 seconds and then everything went back to normal. A smartwatch today is not a watch.
Right.
So if you're gonna, and I see people all the time, they wear the smartwatch here because they want to count their steps and blood pressure and this and that, and then they have whatever watch they were wearing. So they're actually wearing
Two.
both, except this one over here is meant for counting steps or getting your notifications from your phone, so you don't have to take the phone out of your
Right.
pocket.
I think it's the
But
best thing.
it really hasn't affected us in a way where we said, "Oh my God, the industry's over." Didn't happen.
So I, who am a novice, said I wanted to get a watch. So forget smartwatch for a second. I wanted to get a dress watch. And I don't really wear jewelry, but I sit on a couple of boards now, and I go to galas, and I don't want to wear this watch.
Hmm.
As long as I got this watch for fall detection, because I had the strokes. But if I'm with my wife, it's no big deal. I don't need to wear this watch. So I said I have to get myself a cool watch to wear. I'm a small guy,
Hmm.
so like a big watch doesn't work for me.
Right.
So I went with a Movado because I thought it was a good watch.
Perfect choice.
Is it a good watch? But
It's a good watch. It's Swiss. It's thin. It's dress. It's everything that you want it to be. So it's not that.
right,
So it's a dress watch.
right, and for me, it's very lightweight. It doesn't really bother me. The interesting thing about that watch, and I'll tell you the quick story about that watch, was I was at an auction. That watch was there, and the dot on the top was swimming around inside. The the leather band was all twisted and ripped and stuff, and it was there on auction. And I said, you know what? I'm a bid on it because I like that watch. So I bid $20. Nobody bid anything more. So I got a Movado for $20. It cost me another 20 to fix it, and like $10 for a band. So I'm into that watch, 50, $60. And the other thing I liked about it was everybody's used to seeing the dark face on the Movado. This is a mother of pearl. Now I don't know if it's any better, not the quality of the watch, but if it's any rarer, a mother of pearl one.
It is because they don't really use the mother of pearl dials in the Movado. It's always a black dial.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So and I thought it was kind of cool and kind of different. In your experience, which is a lot, what's like the best watch to get?
What,
Like everybody talks about Rolex.
that's a loaded question. There is
Okay.
no best watch to get.
Okay,
Rolex is a brand that's already established and they paid their dues and they pay millions of dollars every year to sponsor golf, tennis,
right.
F1 racing, this, that, and the other. It's in every airport that you go to. It's everywhere. It's plastered all over the place. If I stop somebody on the street and I say, name me one luxury watch out of the thousands of brands, they're going to say Rolex.
Of
because
course.
it's the only name they know.
And if you're a James Bond fan, it's definitely the only
And
name
that's
you-
why I wear an Omega, because I'm a James Bond freak, and Omega is the watch to wear. Even though he wore Rolex
Right.
in the earlier movies, Omega took over, and that's all he wore after that.
All right, so it's an Omega watch. I'm gonna guess cost wise,
Hmm.
gonna be less than a Rolex.
Way less.
Okay, and as good a quality.
In my opinion, better. You could buy two of these for the price of one Rolex.
Okay, now I remember my boss many years ago. He had a watch. I don't know if it was any name brand, but it was the whole face was diamonds.
Hmm.
Okay, and it was solid gold. Does that make it a better watch? Because well, let's talk about the inside. Is really what matters.
And this is what I do. I look at a watch from the inside out, where you would look at a watch from the outside in.
Right.
You look at it and say, oh, it's pretty, it's good looking, I can wear this for dress, casual, this, that. You put it on, you go. For me, I'm totally the opposite. I will look at the watch from the inside out. It's like you go buy a vintage Ferrari. What's the first thing you're going to do after you look at the color and how pretty it is? You're going to lift up the hood and stick your head in there and look.
I know nothing, but okay, yes.
But that's what I
Right.
would do that.
Right.
Right. A car freak would do that. Well, a watch freak would do the same thing with a watch.
So let's go back because I'm older than dirt, and there was a million commercials for Timex.
Yes.
Takes a licking, keeps ticking.
Yep.
Great thing because I still remember it.
It's a great watch.
Is it a great watch?
And it's still made to this day. It's like Casio with the G-Shock. They started in 1983, and Wayne Gretzky was the first one to do the first commercial for G-Shock where he gives a slap shot of the watch into the net.
Uh-huh.
Well, shockproof, waterproof, this, that, and the other. What are you buying for $99 that's going to last that long? Nothing.
That's true.
Nothing. So you don't need to buy a Rolex for it to tell time, because a Rolex and a Timex both do the same thing.
That's correct.
It's how do you want to tell time? The Rolex way or the Timex way?
Well, the scenario in my eyes is that the person that's wearing a Rolex wants people to see that they're wearing a Rolex.
Of course.
Okay? The rest doesn't matter, because when I look at a Timex and it's 8 o'clock, you're going to be looking at a Rolex, it's going to be the same 8 o'clock.
It's still 8 o'clock.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
100%.
Okay. So my next question is, do you think when they went to, because they went for different stages, but, so you had a wind-up watch in the beginning, and then you had self-winding,
Mm-hmm.
and then battery.
Mm-hmm.
Battery any better?
The battery, you pick up the watch. Okay, let's back up. So an automatic watch, which is self-winding, normally has a 42-hour power reserve. So you put it down after 42 hours, the watch stops. Versus a battery-operated watch, that thing is running no matter what
Correct.
for the period of the life of the battery, which is normally 2 years. You don't have to touch it. You grab it after 2 weeks, you didn't wear it, you put it on, it still has the right time. An
Okay.
automatic watch, you have to wind, you have to set. It's a whole other thing.
Okay, so, I mean, in the past, most people had one watch.
Yeah.
And you put it on every day, and you just wind
it.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but today, people have watch collections.
Yes.
Okay. I'm trying to Invicta.
If, yes, that is
But-
a brand.
Right.
Not a
But
good one.
I'm not saying. What
Yeah.
I'm saying is, it's all about marketing.
Yes.
And they put out the marketing.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, it became this hot watch.
It did.
Didn't mean it was great.
Yeah.
But it was there. Look, it happens with cars,
Yeah.
too. The more advertising, you think you're sold a bill of goods, and that's how it is in this country,
Yeah.
and probably other countries. You sold a bill of goods, you know, in everything. And we were talking about, I'm going to be 67. So when I was turning 65, I was going on Medicare, and they said, get the Advantage Plan, because that's all you heard. Advantage Plan. Thank God I didn't take the Advantage Plan. I took a supplement because I had 2 strokes, and I would have been $800,000 in debt if I took just plain Medicare, okay, with an Advantage Plan. So you're right. You sold a bill of goods, and that's why, to me, it's so important to talk to someone who knows it better, because every watch company that you see on TV has an agenda,
Yes.
okay? So I come to your store, I say I want a watch. How do you decipher what watch is going to work for me best?
I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions.
Okay.
So, what is the purpose of the watch? How
Keep
do you
time.
want to wear it? Well, how do you want to wear the watch? You want this to be every day? You want it to be water resistant? Are you going to go to the beach? Are you going to wear it for dress? Are you going to work? What do you do? So, I'm asking you, it's
Right.
probing to give you the right watch, not just to sell you the most expensive watch I have, because that might not be for you. So if after you tell me everything that you need the watch to do, if it ends up being a $80 citizen watch, then so be it. That's what I'm going to show you.
Correct.
If you have other needs for the watch to do certain things, you want to time something, okay, there's watches for everything. Whether it's solar, it's quartz, it's automatic, it has a timer, it has an alarm. You may need to take medications at certain times of the day. You want a watch to have an alarm so it alerts you, hey, it's 2
Bedtime.
o'clock, it's medication time. Okay, I'm going to put you in a watch like that. So I'm going to ask you all these questions.
I guess if you travel,
If you travel,
different
there's
time zones.
100% world time.
Okay, so I see people walking around with watches as thick as this cup.
Yes.
Okay. Why? Does it make it any better? Does it?
Now, the more functions a watch has built into it, the thicker it's going to be, because you have to jam all those components into the case of the watch.
And I guess it's going to affect its weight.
Correct.
Okay, so again, being a small guy, for me, I didn't see any other choice but Movado. Does anybody else make a thin watch like that?
There are several manufacturers that make thin watches, and right now the trend is to go down in size, not so much increase the size
Well,
right
there was a
now.
time, right?
It was how big can we go?
Right.
And now it's how small and thin can we go? So we're kind of going a little backwards in the industry.
But I think that every industry is kind of cyclical, right? I mean,
100%.
you've seen the times change.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
Multiple
We use the
times.
word time because it's
Yeah,
just
no pun intended on
you
that.
know. Okay, so you have the shop, and I don't, and I have not been there yet, but I will make sure I stop by. You sell more than just watches there?
We do a
Okay.
lot of jewelry. My prime focus on the jewelry part is custom. So you come in with a photo, you give me a photo of something you want, and I will put it in CAD and we'll tweak it as we go before we even cast it into the metal. So we can make changes to that drawing as we go along.
So, are you a jeweler also?
Yes. So
Okay.
I grew up with my grandfather as a jeweler, my father as a watchmaker, and I'm in the middle with, with one of these in the back of the head.
So, you said your dad still comes in.
Yeah,
Does he still work?
every day.
Does he really?
Every day.
Wow.
Every day.
So I was saying I had a mantle clock. Should I bring it to you or him?
Big. We'll give it to him and let him sort that out.
It's probably older than him.
He's 78, so
I think it's
probably is
probably
older
older
than
than him.
him.
You know, it is utterly amazing because I was at a meeting, and it really wasn't for a board, but it was for a theater. And we're at a meeting on who's going to help out with this theater. And I brought a friend of mine, and they didn't accept him because he didn't have a watch on. Okay, this goes back probably 8, 10 years, but that's an interesting scenario. Why would you not accept someone? Now, I was already in, and I didn't wear watches, but he was wearing a short sleeve shirt, didn't have a watch on. So I guess a watch is really more than just a functioning item. It really is an accessory item.
It is.
Okay, so
Especially for men. There's not a lot of jewelry for men. So what really is jewelry for men? Having a wedding band and having a watch. We're not. My wife has stuff. She doesn't have enough fingers for all the stuff she has. Okay, but we're not like that. I'm gonna wear my wedding band. I'm gonna wear a good watch.
no, you have a bracelet too.
And now, today, normally I don't wear anything on this wrist. But
Okay,
for me, it's the watch and the ring.
and I'm looking at you, and you didn't go the gold route. You went the silver route or the
Always
white gold.
stainless steel.
Really?
This is a tank. This is every day. This you could wear dressed up. I've worn this watch with a suit and a tux. And I wore this to the beach and got into the ocean when we went to Puerto Rico 6 months ago. Same watch.
It's still ticking.
And it's still going. This thing is a tank.
Is it a battery?
No, this is self-winding.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I thought, because I'm old, I remember self-winding coming out, and I thought, how cool is that? If you're going to be active anyway, it's going to wind
It's
as
gonna
you're going to
wind.
go as you go. So, and then when battery watches came, I thought they were a pain in the butt. Because at some point in time,
It's going to die.
it's going to die.
Yes.
Okay?
And it's going to die when you don't want it to die.
Right. And we're talking about my Movado, and I know that when I go and I pull it out of the jewelry box, it's probably not going to be working.
Probably not.
So I know now I have to bring it in, and I have to get a battery put in. And I went and had batteries put in a watch at one point in time, and 3 days later it stopped working again. So I mean, I don't know if it's the quality of the batteries they use or.
It's probably a mechanical issue at that point. Normally, the battery comes out of the package, it goes into the watch. The watch is either going to work or not. If it doesn't work, then you have to look into the why not.
Interesting. All right. At the top of our time, how do people find you? You have a phone number
Yes.
Which is?
772-343-9411.
and a website?
The website is thewatchaficionado.com.
Guys, here's the thing. It's not, and I said this a million times about a lot of things, but your watch is not a DIY project, okay? You don't take it apart, because I've taken apart watches, and now they don't work, and there's parts left over. and you really have to be an expert to work on watches. And I know he's gonna hate it at clocks, but it takes it's a skill set,
It is.
okay? And if he can't do it, we just give it to his dad, which is what I'm about to do with my manual clock. But go check out the store. You have the address?
Yes, 1680 Southwest St. Lucie West Boulevard.
Okay, so let's figure this out.
Yes.
St. Lucie West Boulevard.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go down.
It's on St. Lucie West in between Lake Charles and California.
Okay, if you don't know that area, it's a pretty cool area. I lived on California for a while, so but check them out. Don't work on it yourself. Don't take it apart yourself. The worst thing you could do, you could. I give you permission to change the band, but that's where it stops.
That's it.
Okay.
I mean, I get a lot of people that bring me watches in a plastic bag. And,
Right.
Can you put this back together? As I call those YouTube watchmakers. Please don't be a YouTube watchmaker.
Everybody, check them out.
Wayne,
All right,
thank you so much.
Have a great day. We'll be right back.